13, cover number is C816, recorded the 7th of the 4th, 78, and transmissions to be announced. Any seconds. 5 seconds.
Hello, Roger Clemson. Welcome to This Is Your Life, Sydney Showground, home of the famous Royal Easter Show. Our guest of honour this week is known and loved by everybody who enjoys country music, from Narrabri to Nashville. At this moment, he's down there somewhere, making what he thinks is a documentary about quarter horses and rodeos. So how about if we descend from the clouds and surprise him?
Just walk, darling. Walk the deck.
Hello, Reg.
G'day, how are you?
Fine, how are you, all right?
Good to see you.
Fine, how are you, all right?
Good, this is my buddy Arthur.
Hello, Arthur.
You know this gentleman,
How are you, Arthur?
How do you do?
Listen, Reg, I don't want you to fall off your horse.
I have done that before.
Yeah, but don't do it right now, because, you know, at this particular moment, we are on national television, and the whole of Australia is waiting for me to say, Reg Lindsay, this is your life.
Get it.
Would you like to sit down?
I'd love to.
Reg Lindsay, you have topped the pop charts against the Beatles and Elvis Presley, and as one of the best-loved stars in Australian entertainment, your example has set many a young performer on the road to success. Do you happen to remember this aspiring young country singer?
Stand by your man.
She sounds a lot different these days, Reg. Australia's Entertainer of the Year, the star of Irene, who has just filmed her first special for Channel 7, Julie Anthony.
To listen twice, you know, because things have changed a little over the years, haven't they?
Well,
sure.
Talking about changes, Julie, will you tell us about the encouragement that Reg gave to you and what it meant to you?
Well,
Tell the truth now.
all right. Actually, Roger, Reg has proved to me that you can become a star and yet still be yourself.
Well, that's... you got to try, haven't you? And that applies to this young lady very much.
Oh, thank you. I made my second television appearance on Reg's country show in Adelaide. I was a kid from the bush, nervous and awkward and generally overwhelmed by the whole thing, but...
We used to talk about driving tractors and things.
Yeah. But that's where Reg stepped in with his friendliness and his generosity and his warmth. He made me believe that I had a future in show business, and I've never forgotten that. And I think there's a lot of other young performers in this country who'll agree with me when I say, Reg, you're a very special person.
Lovely having you with us, Julie.
Thank you.
Julie Anthony. Reg, you grew up with country music, but you were born in the city at Waverley in Sydney on July the 7th, 1931, the only child of Ellen and James Lindsay. Your father's a pretty fair amateur musician. When you're 5, the family moves to the part of New South Wales known as the Golden West, first to Parkes and then to Moora, and then on to Adelaide, where your father manages the city baths. At 12, you were given your first guitar by your auntie, Annie Shaw, and she's at home watching the show tonight at the age of 94.
I used to curse that guitar.
Your boyhood friend from Adelaide, former federal member of Parliament, Pat Galvin.
How did they get you here?
TAA runs.
Oh, I tell you what, that's great.
Pat, would you tell us about young Reg and his guitar?
That damn guitar. You know, I was working for Reg's father at the Olympic pool, and when he got this guitar, when he was practicing, he'd be upstairs, and if things were quiet, we'd gather down below and have a bit of a spell. But as soon as Reg would start playing or practicing...
Everyone would go back to work.
No, but we'd all say, blast, Reg, that damn guitar will send his father down to give us a job. And never in our wildest dreams did we know that Reg Lindsay and that guitar, through it, he would become an international star.
Pat, thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Lovely to see you. That's a surprise I didn't think. That's good.
Reg, after Adelaide High School, it's work as a rouseabout on a sheep station with the Evans family at Mantung. Now, you love the country life, leading the campfire sing-alongs with your guitar, and you show special promise as a rodeo rider. In fact, it's a bad fall from a Brahma bull that steers you into show business. Now, how did that come about, Reg? Tell us.
Well, how did it come about? Well, I couldn't ride too good, but I tried. I, rode the milking cows, and I talked to some of the fellas into letting me use them, to ride and so forth, and I got real smart. I'd seen the top professionals getting off in a fancy way, so I tried to. It didn't work, and then I didn't work for a month. And so I dial twisted and picked up a radio show in Sydney run by Tim McNamara and rode a motorbike over when I could to enter into the competition. Then I won a contest, won the contest, and I got a recording contract, which wasn't easy to get those days, so I was pretty lucky that I didn't have to knock on too many doors.
He was a kid, but we knew he was a star.
And the man who gave you your first radio show, Philip Jeeves.
Too many stars, too many nights to be alone.
Good. Philip, you were production manager at 2CH in the real heyday of live radio.
I was.
Now, what sort of an impression did you have of this young stockman from South Australia when he walked in on you?
Absolutely tremendous. He brought a whole new look to country music. I think the most important thing, Roger, the key to Reg's success, was the fact that when all other country personnel were trying to be carbon copies of their American counterparts, Reg was just so Australian and proud to be it.
Philip, thank you for what you've had to say.
Thank
Pleasure.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Reg, it's 1951, and you turn full-time professional, and for the first 12 months you all but starve. And then you land your own radio show on 2SM. It runs for 10 years and inspires a new generation of radio personalities.
Reg, Sammy Sparrow says you're his favourite singer.
Perhaps the best-known voice in Sydney from 2UE, Gary O'Callaghan.
Every time I go down, the boys keep kicking my dog around. Makes no difference to
We had a marvellous time in those early days of radio, didn't we?
Well, can I just ask you in that case, Gary, your recollections, your memories of Reg in those days?
Yes, Roger, I was a pretty young fella just starting into the radio business in those days. Yeah, well, I was anyhow. And Reg had his big program. I used to do the introduction, and country music people in those days, and I'm sure they've changed now, used to be pretty casual, you see.
Oh, we're still pretty casual.
Yeah. Well, sometimes his artists would arrive and sometimes they wouldn't for his live show.
Right.
And he used to say, keep an eye out for so-and-so. If you see him, give me the thumbs up, you see. And so-and-so would not arrive, so he'd look across and I'd go like that. And he never got flustered. He always would say, well, I'll sing you another song, and pick up his guitar and away he'd go. And I really think, Reg, that you were the person that taught me to relax in front of an audience, because I could
like
see
you
it could be done.
Return the compliment now.
Don't relax tonight.
Gary, thank you. See you on The Breakfast Show. Gary O'Callaghan. Reg, radio takes your music to millions of Australians. You appear with Tim McNamara and Reg Quigg and join Bonington's Bunkhouse, and here you are with Noel Judd, George Foster, Leonard Teal, Keith Walsh and Neil Williams. Until this time you have been a solo artist, but one night at 2SM you look up from your guitar into the eyes of a lovely young singer and you start thinking about duets.
Reg, do you remember this song?
Till the end of the world, you'll be mine. Till the end.
Your wife, Heather McKean, and with her your daughters Diane, Sandra and Joan. Heather, that was the first song I know that you and Reg ever sang together.
Right.
It proved rather prophetic because I think you've seldom been apart since then.
You don't realise just how close we have been these last couple of weeks. It's been hard, but no, Roger, really, I'm a very lucky woman, I think. We've taken our music, the love of country music that we have, we've taken it all over Australia. We've been very lucky that we've been able to share our lives together this way. We've had a lovely life, got 3 lovely daughters, and I'm very lucky, and everything we've had we've shared together, and it's been marvellous.
Thank you, Heather, very much indeed.
Don't fall in love with me, no gal, 'cause I don't plan on being here too long. You're just a leaf in a playful little breeze. I'll carry you away when I'm moving on.
Reg, from 1958 to 1963, you toured Australia full-time, taking country music to the people who appreciate it most, from Kalgoorlie to Cairns and even up through New Guinea. In the words of the song by your friend Jeff Mack, you've been everywhere. Sometimes in some small town out bush, you even meet up with the in-laws.
It's lonesome away from your kindred and home by the campfire at night.
Yes, your brother-in-law, former This Is Your Life guest of honour Slim Dusty, his wife Joy McKean and your niece Anne Kirkpatrick. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us here, ladies and gentlemen, Australia's first family of country music with the magnificent total of over 60 gold records between them. How about that? Okay. Now, Slim, you and Reg are, without question, the top country artists, and yet you don't regard each other as rivals. Why is that?
Well, I think we're very fortunate that Reg sort of goes his direction. I go mine. We occasionally cross, but our styles are so much apart, and that makes it very easy. But besides the professional side, the most important part to me and to Reg and Heather and the family, that if we're in trouble, well, we can help each other. Because I remember only about 3 years ago, I was suffering with a pretty bad throat, and I was booked for this big club. There was no way I could go through the show. So Reg and Heather and some of his band came, did the first half. That's the atmosphere we have, and that's what I treasure most, and I think both families feel that same way.
That's right. Well, Joy, Anne and Slim, thank you very much for completing our family reunion for us. It's great to have you. Reg, have you got your square dancing shoes on?
Then face your corner and do side right shoulders round.
From Adelaide, square dance caller Colin Cuddles Huddleston, and with him your great friend Kenny Soul.
Remember the flask we used to have?
Ah, now Cuddles, did that hip flask there have something to do with Reg's first television show?
It certainly did, Roger. I'll tell him now.
But I could tell him a few things I'm not game to tonight.
Well, let's hear his story
in Reg's
first.
Country in Western Hour, which ran for 8 years, I used to do the square dance calling and always had to have a flask because I liked to wet the throat before I went on, but only lemon squash, Roger, nothing else but lemon squash. Of course. And the band, of course, used to have a drink also. But someone got to it one night. They emptied the squash out and filled it with scotch.
I know who that was.
So what happens halfway through the show, Norm Kosh, our great banjo player, asked for a drink. We used to always have a drink of squash. So he took the flask, and when it was half empty, he recovered, passed it along down the band. All the band had a drink. And when it got to Reg, it was empty. Reg took a sniff at it and was horrified. We nearly got thrown out of the studio, but the funny part about it was that the show that had to finish at 11 o'clock, the band finished at 1. You remember?
Well, that's a lovely story. Kenny Soul, you've travelled the country as a performer with Reg. Do things ever really go wrong on those long tours?
I think, if I remember rightly, it was a long time ago, Reg thought I'd hitched the caravan up to the car. And I thought Reg had done it. So he says, right, we're all ready to roll. Jumps in the car, away we go, and about half a mile further on or so, we look around, there's no caravan. They come off the car, away she went.
We had a few things happen from time to time.
It was real good fun. Real good fun. No,
Well, gentlemen, before we go too far, would you care to sashay over to your seats? And thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Roger.
Reg, for all your success, we know that you're a very modest man, and we're about to reveal a side of your life that you may be rather shy about.
Reg, you were more popular than Santa Claus.
A very dear friend of yours, Maureen Hull.
You can proudly say the jungles of Vietnam.
I don't know about that Santa Claus bit, though.
Now, Maureen, you and Reg wrote a song together, The Jungles of Vietnam. The American R&R boys took it back with them and it became the #1 song in Saigon. But it was your work with the Burnside Children's Homes that showed you a side of Reg, Lindsay, that the public seldom hear about. Will you tell us about that?
Well, that's right. Reg came first of all to the first show at Burnside because he was a friend of mine and he had to. Ever after that, he came because he was a friend of theirs.
Oh, that was really great.
And it was great. They loved him very much. One particular, this is how he really became more famous than Santa Claus. One week I had all of the little kids around me and I said, next week it's our Christmas party. And I said, you know who comes to our Christmas party? And a little tiny one said, yes, I know, Reg Lindsay. And her friend said, you were supposed to say Santa Claus. They really loved him and they are his greatest fans.
Oh, they're great.
Thank you, Maureen. Reg, in the late 1960s, you take your first nervous step towards the fulfillment of a vision. You dream of seeing Australian country music in Nashville, Tennessee. And here on film is a fellow Australian who shared that same ambition from Nashville, Diana Trask.
Hi, Reg. I remember how nervous you were the very first time that we shared this stage together at the Grand Ole Opry. Before you left my house, now you were so nervous that these rebels would not understand your Australian accent, you know, but they sure did, and you killed them, and you got a lot of fans just waiting for you to come back, and Tom and I really missed you and Heather too. So listen, if you get nervous tonight and forget your lyrics, just do like you usually do, okay, and make them up. This is Diana Trask saying, we really love you.
Well, as a matter of fact, the governor of Tennessee even makes you an honorary citizen, Reg, and that was the first of many trips to America with 5 concerts at the Grand Ole Opry and a new album recorded in Nashville last month with Nashville's top musical director, Australian Bill Walker. Now, country music has never been more popular than today, Reg, and with your national TV show, Country Homestead, you're introducing a new generation to Australia's great country singers.
Reg, can I please stop rowing now?
A regular guest on Country Homestead, Laurel Lee. Laurel, we know that Reg is a very fine performer. What's he like as a producer, though?
Oh, he's...
Oh, pretty hard, very hard.
No, he's a touch forgetful sometimes.
Am I? What'd I do wrong?
Well, I remember when we were, actually Warren Williams, Lester Coombs and I were up at Nerang River in a little tin rowing boat, rowing up and down the river in the freezing cold. I had bronchitis. We were all getting pneumonia out there, and we were supposed to be all kind of in this show, you know.
And we forgot about you.
Yeah, that's right.
We forgot about
About
you.
an hour and a half later, we're still rowing up and down the river, and they're all saying, well, where are these people? You know what? Why aren't they here? Where are they? They've run off.
Yeah,
and he forgot all about us.
But it
just
was a
wanted
great
to-
show, wasn't it?
It was a great show,
was, yeah.
Reg.
It was
And
a
we
great
didn't
show.
care because we loved it.
Thank you for being with us.
Reg, if you wouldn't mind, don't sit down for a moment. We'll be back in just a moment to tell the story of a song that sold 500,000 copies, a song that actually Reg didn't even want to record. But before we get onto that, can I just ask you to come with me out of the studio for a moment while we organise a special surprise?
Sure.
We'll come back in just a couple of moments. Don't take
Okay.
fright. We'll leave Heather here, all right?
Okay.
And we'll come
Right.
back in just a couple of moments.
Tape's rolling. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, Reg's band, the Overnighters. And here they are, ladies and gentlemen. We have Pee Wee Clark on pedal steel guitar. We have vocalist Donita Day, Don North on drums, Philip Emmanuel on lead guitar, and of course we also have Heather on bass. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, the Overnighters. Country music is an international brotherhood, Reg. You were very close to the late Tex Ritter and his wife Dorothy, I know. But your great mentor is a man you corresponded with for 15 years before you finally met him. And here he is on film, the legendary Hank Snow.
And you know, when I did the tour of Australia a few years ago, it was a delight to have you and your sweet wife Heather be a part of our tour. And the tremendous impact you had on every audience was indeed living proof of the love and respect the people of Australia have for you. May I wish for you continued success, health and happiness and prosperity in the years ahead. And again, a million thanks for letting me be a part of this honor which you so richly deserve. Remember to always keep moving on.
Now, Reg, the story of the hit you tried to turn down.
The song was called Armstrong.
Yes, Reg, this is your life has flown him all the way from New York to be with you tonight, the man who produced Armstrong, Patrick Alton.
Have you time to produce an album?
Absolutely. Well, I'm here, I'll do it.
Marvellous to see you.
It's great to see you.
Yeah.
Will you tell us the story about Armstrong?
It's really very simple. We worked for a record company. I worked for a record company, and Reg walked in and said, listen,
you got to do an album for me.
You got to do an album for me, right? So I said, okay, I'll do the album. And he said, but I want a hit. He's tough, you know. He said, I want a hit. So I said, okay, well, let's look around. And we went down to his house and we dug all sorts of tapes out and we did some really nice things. And then I said this thing about Armstrong, and you looked at me rather puzzled, and you didn't.
I said, I can't sing that sort of song.
No, you didn't say it. No, in fact, you said nothing and walked away. You see,
Did I?
Yeah, I thought,
maybe I said the other afterwards.
I thought funny, you know, funny. But you went home and discussed it with her, and you came back and you said, well, listen, I asked you to do it, so let's do it. And it was really great.
Well, it worked, and I thank you very much.
And it's lovely to be here. I would have come all this way for you, sir.
Marvellous. Sure, and Bigorra, it's nice to have you back.
The name Reg Lindsay has won just about every honour Australian show business provides, from Tamworth to the Logies. There isn't a stage in Australia, from the tiniest bush town to the Sydney Opera House, where they don't know and love the tall man with the guitar. Reg Lindsay, this is your life.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Australia.
programme are brought together by TAA.